You want to buckle up and get ready for this one, because this is going to be a full-blown tutorial on the most versatile trading platform in the world. Just to give you some context, I used to use a platform called MetaTrader, MT4, and I then went from that to eSignal, and then I switched to NinjaTrader, and I spent about 10 years on NinjaTrader, and then I switched over to TradeNation, and now TradeNation, my broker, has integrated with Tradingview, and now I'm on Tradingview, and I've been exploring this platform for many years now. I've always wanted to trade and put my trading account, my full trading account, on this platform, but my broker has never integrated until now. So I'm going to be using this myself. I'm not affiliated with TradingView, but I know it is the most popular trading platform in the world because you guys told me you want to use this the most. And in this video, I'm going to go through every single feature from start to finish so that you can confidently use this platform and enjoy all the benefits that it has to offer. I'm not going to leave a stone unturned. What I recommend before we get started is, in the description, I've created a workbook for you that you can print out or download and work through as we go through this platform. I want you to treat this like a course. So get the workbook. Also, make sure you save this video and download the video if you're on YouTube Premium so that you can take it on a flight or watch it when you're on the beach or where you've got no signal. It's going to be one of those videos you're going to want to keep coming back to, so make sure you do that. And also, before we get stuck in, this is a little community of TradingView traders that we're creating here. Introduce yourself in the comments. Let me know your name, where you're from, and I'll be looking and replying to each of those comments as we get to help each other out with this platform as we move forward. Also, if you do introduce yourself in the chat, you've got the option to be put into one of my communities where I have other traders and like-minded individuals discussing how we can get ahead using this platform. So we're going to get stuck in, and before we do, I'll say it one last time. Make sure you get the workbook, get rid of distractions, find yourself a nice quiet spot. This is going to need your dedicated time, and if you need to keep coming back to this, I've put timestamps in the description so you can find the relevant areas of the video that you need. Grab a notebook, grab a pen, grab a drink, and let's get stuck in. So the first thing you're going to want to do, obviously, is go to tradingview.com and open an account. Now, before you do that, one thing I will say about this is a really good value for money platform. Just to give you some context, for the longest time, I used to subscribe to eSignal, which back in the day was a trader's platform that would give you access to data just like what they give you on TradingView today, but I was paying up to $300 per month for that. Now, some of the packages on TradingView are very cheap, and what I will say is they offer really good deals around Black Friday. So if you wait for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, that time, they genuinely offer great deals. In fact, me and, in my family or my team, we buy lots of our software subscriptions around Black Friday because they often tend to give you these great deals where you can get great value for money, and TradingView does offer like a 2 years, buy 1 year, get 2 years free kind of thing, and it is genuinely good value for money. So if you're watching this around that time, it might be worth just waiting for that deal to come out and then checking out their platform. And if you're already thinking about getting your feet wet, maybe just subscribe on the monthly and then wait for that and then get one of those deals because they're just crazy. So first thing, literally, we just go up, click, get started. And probably one of the first things you're going to want to know is the pricing, right? So depending on how much you think you're going to use this thing is going to determine your perceived value for money. But what I will say is, if you're thinking about doing this professionally and making a real thing of it, it pays you to get a better package, a professional package, because think about it. You're going to be more motivated to make it work. You're treating it as a business. It's a real subscription for a piece of software that's going to serve you well in your business. And I think there's a lot of merit in going all in, and I'm not affiliated with TradingView in any way. As I said in the intro, in fact, the link that I put in the description to sign up to TradingView is just a refer a friend partner link that everyone gets when they sign up for this thing. Why not? But when you look at the packages here, we're talking about $12.95 per month, or if you're in dollars, it's about $15 a month, maybe $16 a month. And then you've got £25 per month, which is the plus, and then the premium, which is about £50 per month or $600 per year. So it's really not an expensive expense if you look at it as a business tool. Now I use this for my investing as well. So the stock screeners, which I'll show you way later in the video, are phenomenal. So I really do get value for money. Now lately they've just introduced this Professional Pro series, which is obviously a lot more. And ultimately what this is going to unlock is more charts. So you're going to be able to have 10 charts, 12 charts, 16 charts per tab. And I don't want to get bogged down with that because you're obviously new to this, and I recommend that you start with one of these, and I'll explain more of those professional features later. Now with all of these packages, you get a 30-day free trial anyway. So you might as well pick one that you think you're going to get the most benefit from and go with that. So just hit the button. I'm not going to teach you how to suck eggs and how to sign up to put your details in and all that. So we're going to skip past that, and I'm going to open an account.
A few moments later.
So once you've signed up, which I've just signed up with a Google account here, Responsible Pro 94806, which is a random name, but just for the sake of this video, it doesn't matter. That's my new user, and you'll be taken to the home page. And the home page just has some generic stuff on it, which you can customize later if you wish. But what we're really looking at is the products here, and we want to get into the super charts. That's where we're going to get into trading. But before we do that, it might pay to set up your profile, right? So in your profile settings, you can see we've got account and billing, which is basically your billing information. Help center, I like to have the dark theme on, just because, not that the charts necessarily have to be dark, but all of the other parts of the site are dark. When I check in first thing in the morning, the last thing I want is this glaring light in my eyeballs. So I like the dark theme. I'm just a dark theme kind of guy. Profile settings is where you're going to set up your settings. So you could add a profile picture here. You can, it will tell you who you follow, who follows you, how many ideas you've got. And I'll talk about all that stuff as we go through. But let's get stuck into the charts and show you around the charts. When you click on super charts here, you're going to see a chart. Now, the reason it's Apple is because it throws in, if we click up here, you can see that this is going to be our watch list. This top right is our watch list. Tradingview gives you a series of instruments by default. Now that is just under different, like we've got the funds, index funds here, we've got some stocks, we've got some futures, we've got some Forex as well, and some crypto, just to kind of show you, what a watch list might look like. But what we're going to do is we're going to delete some of these out because it gets a little bit confusing. You can delete all of these, right? I recommend that you delete all of them off, and I'll show you how to add those markets in just a moment for the markets that you're going to be interested in. And we're going to clear this thing down and start from scratch. I'm going to show you around the charts. I'm going to show you all the tools. I'm going to show you all the features. And then I'm going to show you how you can actually use this to start trading. Just click the little bin icon here and you can delete these off. You might even delete the whole watch list category, but I'm going to delete these off. I'll just leave one at the top. If you click this watch list button, it will show and hide the watch list, and the same goes for all of these things. But we're going to start obviously in the center. This is the chart. It's a 360 chart, meaning that you can scroll around like this by dragging the mouse, and it's really nice 360 feature. Zoom in and out if you're using a trackpad or if you're using a roller ball, or you can learn the shortcut features using the shift and command and the arrow keys. But either way, it's a really nice, elegant way to zoom around, and you can use the up and down on the price index on the right to zoom. So the chart's really nice, okay? Chart's in the middle. The price is on the right, okay? And then the day and time is on the bottom axis here as well. And then down the left-hand side, you've got a load of tools, which are drawing tools and indicator tools that we're going to go into in a bit more detail. And then up the top, you've got the ticker or the instrument, the market, the pair or stock or whatever it might be. And then you've got the time frame, which is the time frame of the market. So each of these candlesticks here represent one day because we're on the daily. If I go to the 4 hour, each candlestick represents a 4 hour time period, and so on. Then you've got the market, whether you like to use candles or bars. These are called OHLC bars, open, high, low, close. Some people prefer to use OHLC, some people prefer to use candles, some use hollow candles. It's just personal preference. I'm going to stick with candlesticks for the purpose of this because that's what most of my content is created in and people understand it. Indicators is where we're going to add indicators, which I'll show you in a moment. Then we've got our template, indicator template, which we probably won't go into in too much detail in this video because it's a little bit more advanced, but it's essentially saving some templates for your indicators so that you can quickly access them. And then you've got bar replay and some alerts things up here, which I'll go over. Undo and redo buttons. Here you've got the layout set up. So remember I mentioned about the amount of charts that you want on the screen. Well, look, you can have split screen. Okay, and again, this is going to depend on what package you've got. If you've got a basic, then you can only have one chart. If you've got the plus, it unlocks more charts, and if you've got the pro, it unlocks premium, it unlocks multiple charts. And then if you've got those professional level memberships, you can have up to 16 charts on one tab. That's what it means. And we'll delve into that a little bit later as well. By the way, remember to save this video and download this video if you're on YouTube Premium, because this is going to be a long video and it's going to be one that you reference to, one that you keep coming back to, almost like your encyclopedia of Tradingview. Okay, and then there's some other features that I'm going to talk about when it's relevant. So what we're going to talk about now is the customization of the chart, of our workspace, right? This is going to be something that we spend a lot of time with. We want to make it our own. We want to make it comfortable so we know our way around it, and it's appealing visually to us so that it actually doesn't, it's not a chore or it's not too labor intensive to actually come to these charts and do your work as a trader every day. So the first thing is obviously colorization, right? Now, first things first, you can see it's got a black background, but you can also see these grid lines. You can see the price has a different color. You can see the date has a certain color. And what we want to do, we want to customize this to suit our needs. So all we do is hit the settings. So right click and settings, or you can also access it with this button up here. And this is going to give us access to all of the different colorization options on Tradingview. So things like the symbols, you can see we've got this green here, but if we wanted to, we could get a different green, a brighter green, or we could even add a really bright green by clicking this button here and adding that to the palette, right? And now you can see that the green's really bright. See how vibrant that is? If we did the same for the red, if we just go to settings and did the same for red, we just click at add red, right? Add that really vibrant red up here. Okay, click add. And now you can see the red's really vibrant as well, and you can already see what a difference that makes to identification of price. It just visually pops, which I really like. And also, if you go to settings, you can also do the same for the borders and the wick. So the borders you can have as a duller green if you like, or a different color altogether. Sometimes I have blue and gray and all sorts of different colors. It depends how I feel. I'm a real feng shui guy when it comes to trading. You know, you do get tired of certain colors, so every now and then it's nice to change it up. So that's our body and our wick. Our candles are now sorted. What else? The canvas. The canvas is the background, so you can see that it's dark at the moment, but I could go for white. You could have a gradient or a solid color, right? So we can go for white solid color. Okay, if you do go for white solid color, it might be an idea to colorize the candlesticks a little bit differently. And what I mean by that is, instead of having the borders and the wicks green and red, it might pay to just go like this and have them black, because then look at this. If I click OK, you see how easy that is to see now, right? Really crystal clear. So sometimes if you're on a white background, it pays to have a different color, or even just the wicks you might color black. But I like the more visually popping the candlesticks are, the better for me, because it helps me identify. It's just much sharper. But now we've gone white, you can see that some of the pricing and the lines and things like that have now blended into the background. So we want to change that. And the way you do that is you can either go to scales and lines, right? So this is all the colors of the different high and low, and the indicators, the previous day close, the symbols, all that kind of stuff is you can color. So here you've got the grid lines. So if I was to choose gray as my grid line and make that a little less, increase the opacity on that, or decrease the opacity, you can see whatever reference down here on the time axis, it will throw a grid line on the chart so that you can quickly see, oh, this is the 8th, 15th, 22nd, 26th, right? And you can kind of see where those are. If you go to a different time frame, you'll be able to see All right, this is the 13th, 22nd, right? And as you zoom into that, it will break down those periods of time to make it easier for you to see the significant grid lines. So that's what that does. I'm going to turn the grid lines off for now because I like clean charts, right? Now the crosshair can be, that's this color here, which you can see the crosshair of the mouse. I'll leave that at gray. Text, this is where you're going to see the prices change. And I like these to be bold, right? So I'm going to change those for black. I'm also going to set the lines to black as well. That's the lines down here, just to differentiate between the X and Y axis. Another cool feature that I like to add is the watermark. If you click on watermark, it will tell you the market that you're trading. And I just have that kind of reduce the opacity on that to almost nothing, but I like to see it at a glance just so I know what market I'm looking at. When I'm moving the chart around, sometimes you're doing multiple pairs, it can be easy to forget. And you know, looking up here, yes, you can find it here and you can find it here, but that's smaller. I like to just focus on the price, and I can quickly see what market I'm on, right? So I like that feature as well. And then lastly on the customization is the events. So down the bottom here, you'll see certain news events and things, that announcements that are coming out that might be important to your trading, and you can customize those as well. You can also select which one you want. So you can see there's an earnings report here. You can turn earnings off if you don't want to learn about earnings. Ideas, I recommend you turn off all the time, and I'll explain why in just a moment. News notifications. You can have news notifications on, latest news and mines, and so on, right? And then you can change the color of those as well. So as far as customization goes, I like the look of this. Now the data on the screen is live, so you can see this market instrument price moving in real time, and the market data displayed is just from Tradingview's direct feed to the market via their preferred data provider. But you can connect your broker to this platform, which I'm going to show you in a moment, and then when you do that, you'll be getting direct access to your broker's feed through the Tradingview platform, which is so great. Now next thing we want to do is add an instrument to, or a market to, the watch list, so that we can start creating a watch list and flicking through. So we're going to click this add button here. I'm going to type in Euro USD, and you just add it to the watch list. Now you'll notice that all of these are different broker feeds. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to connect a broker feed to this platform. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my data feed. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to integrate my broker feed and my direct access, so I can actually place trades on this platform, and I'm going to connect my broker account in order to do that. So the first thing I'm going to do is drop down to where it says trading panel, and I'm going to open that up, and you'll see a list of preferred brokers. Now you can set up a paper trading account, which means Tradingview will just give you a simulated paper trading account, money to play with, to practice around, and I highly recommend that you do that if you're new to trading. And the way that you do that is just click on the paper trading account, connect, and literally Tradingview will give you $100,000 of fake money that you can then go and trade. And the nice thing about that is you get a real trading journal. So you can monitor all your positions, all your orders, all your history, your account history, and everything there. And you can treat it like a real trading business, only it's paper money, which is really, really nice. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to log in to my trading account, my broker account. So I use TradeNation for reasons that I've explained in many of my videos, because they have fixed spreads. They're UK, I know them in the UK. I've had a relationship with them for many years, fixed spreads being the most important thing. But I'm going to connect my TradeNation account. So you can just hit connect. It will take you through, basically logging into your broker account, so that you just put the credentials into here. I'm going to assume you've got a broker account if you haven't just used the paper trading account, or you can click open account right here. I'll put a direct account open link in the description of this video if you want to go and open a TradeNation account, but I don't recommend any brokers. I just use TradeNation myself, so I'm being transparent with that. Then we're going to log into the account, and once you're logged in, it will say TradeNation down here, right? So we've got our TradeNation account here, and now when you add your symbols here, you can see that it's already linked to your TradeNation account. So if you want the euro dollar, you add the euro dollar. Pound dollar, you want the pound dollar, you add that too. Dollar yen, you want to add that too. And so on and so on. And you can see that I've filtered out various markets just with the tabs up here. TradingView isn't intelligent enough to know that these are Forex, so I'm going to stick them in my Forex watch list here, little segmentation section. So when I close this, there's my Forex pairs, and we can go straight over to the euro dollar. And just like that, we are ready to access and trade the euro dollar. You can literally, hit create new order. You've got access directly to the trading station here, which we can use to place trades. We don't want to do that yet though. We want to calm down a little bit. I'll get to that bit in just a bit. Now the next section, I want to talk about the tools, because there's a ton of tools down the side here, and some of them are going to be relevant to you, some of them are not. There's many that aren't going to be. You're probably going to scratch the surface when it comes to tools, because it's built for everyone. And there's also a social aspect to this platform, which I'll talk about later on, which some of these tools have been catered to, and they're quite irrelevant when it comes to making money trading, to be frank. So first things first, crosshair, okay? So we've got, basically, this is our cursor. So what you want your mouse to look like. You can use an arrow or a dot or an eraser, right, to erase out the drawings that you put on. I like a crosshair because I know I can reference, at the end of the day, I want to reference a point in time with a point in price, and this crosshair enables me to do that really, really nicely. I can just at a glance look across the screen and know that this is 0978 on the 8th of March 2024. That's what I want. So I love the crosshair, although I don't want the crosshair to be dominant, which is why I've got a dotted grey line, so it's not quite, in the way. Just on that, if you hover over any of these candles, you'll see the numbers changing up the top of the screen here. That is the open, high, low and close of the price. So and you can see just by hovering over that this one had an open of 1.0939 and it had a high of 1.0948 and the low and the close and so on. And as you hover through those, it's going to change. That's really important if you want to accurately pinpoint certain entries or certain stop losses and things like that. You're going to want to know that information at a glance. Anyway, let's get back onto this. So we've done crosshair. The next thing is these tools here, which is Fibonacci. It's all based around Fibonacci. Now, there's tons and tons of different fib tools that you'll see on here. I don't use any of these other than the fib retracement tool and the extension tool, because when I'm looking for trend continuation or retracements, or I'm looking for advanced patterns in consolidation, what I'm using is the fib retracement. I like to use the fib retracement and the extension to find confluence, to build a strong case for entry, and they're great indicators to use for looking for where the market's likely to extend to or retrace back to. And they can be used great when used in conjunction with a powerful strategy that has an edge. Fib retracement tool, really simple. You just go from swing high to swing low, and you'll see that it will put on it will show you the retracement of that tool. So this is 100%, this is 0%, and then along the way, this is 382, which is a 0.382 or 38.2% of that move, 50% of that move, 70, and so on until you get to 100%. Now, you can adjust these and set these how you want. So I don't like extensions like this on my retracement tool. What I want is maybe the 786, maybe the 0.886, and then I don't want that, I don't want that, I don't want that, and you can really clear this up, right? So now that's my retracement tool. I've just got a few measurements on there that I can use for certain strategies, and it's really, really clean. And as soon as I've done that, it will stay that way. So if I bring that tool on again and go from, if I let's just say that I want to know, let's just say I'm short this market and I want to take my targets at the 382 retracement, I would draw this tool on from the swing low to swing high, and I would be looking at taking my targets around this 382, and it's nice and clean. And you can also change the settings on this for colors. There's limitless opportunities, possibilities for the colors and things like that if you want to make it really clean. Personally, I like to have no colors, and then I just color the lines and I dot the lines. So it's really, really nice the way that you're able to do that. So I'll let you play around with that to suit your needs. Next up is the extension tool. So let's just say that we've been looking at this move here and we saw the pullback and we're looking at where market is likely to extend to. Well, the 1618 extension is a very powerful fib number, for example. So let's see what happened. Let's draw on from the bottom, the swing low to the swing high, and back down to the bottom. Okay, and look at that, 1618 hit that level, and it's just paused at that level. And again, I don't like anything beyond the 1618, so I'm going to remove that. In fact, you don't need to have 382, 0.61, you don't need any of these in play really, other than the ones that are important to you. So you might have a 1.27 extension, you might not need any of these, 1618 extension and so on. So there you go. I like to have those because 127 extension, the 1618, those are the kind of golden ratios when it comes to extensions in the world of Fibonacci. So nice and clean now. If I was just to draw that on again, let me just show you guys. If I go from swing low to swing high and back down, if this market was down here and I was getting long, my target would be at that 1618. And look at that. Amazing. That's the Fibonacci. Next up, we have the advanced pattern tools, okay, XABCD patterns. The XABCD pattern was created for things like bats, Gartleys, crabs, sharks, butterfly patterns, bat patterns, all those types of advanced patterns that are very popular among the trading community. And this is where you're going to find those. This is where you're going to be drawing those patterns out. So for instance, if you bring on the XABCD pattern and you bring it on your chart and you go from you find a nice impulse leg. I'm not going to teach you how to trade different strategies here. This is just about TradingView. But you can see that we've got that XABCD here, which is a butterfly setup. And the idea is that you use these to draw those on, and then you mark out your entry points, get your stop loss in, and you can see that one rolled over beautifully. Wow, lovely, lovely butterfly pattern there. And that's for that. So you can use this to draw on bat patterns, Gartley patterns, butterfly patterns, crab, sharks, etc. The exceptional tool that they built was for us, actually. One of my co-founders of Tier 1 Trading, Darren, he discovered the cipher pattern when testing Gartleys, and we gave it to trading masterminds, people all over the world, to go and test this thing because we couldn't quite believe the results that we're getting from this pattern, and we found it to be phenomenally successful. So this pattern has been one of the most profitable and highly traded and most popular patterns amongst the trading community, which is the cipher pattern. So TradingView designed this tool specifically for us when we discovered this pattern, because there was such a high demand for it. And that's the cipher pattern. So it has slightly different calculations behind it, but you've got that tool dedicated for that strategy. If you want to learn more about that strategy, you can learn that in my resources in the links below. Moving on from advanced patterns, we've got other tools. I don't use most of these, okay, but you can do Elliott waves, Bollinger Bands, all of these kind of indicators. And remember, they're not strategies, they're drawing tools that you apply to your chart when you're marking up your technical analysis. Okay, one of the ones that's really cool is this head and shoulders setup. So you can kind of draw it on. You just click the mouse, and it will show you, different things of where the neckline is, the slant of the neckline, and it will just mark it up really, really nicely for you, which is great. It's really handy to have these tools. And to be honest, I really only use the XABCD and the cipher one. I don't really use the head and shoulders because, again, I have my own ways of marking up my strategies, and sometimes these indicators or these drawings aren't quite correct to how I trade them. So you can play around with all those. I'm going to go to the next thing, which is the projection tool, which is a great tool. This is where you're going to project your position size, your risk reward profile, and whether you're in a long position or a short position. What this does is, let's just say that we wanted to get short here. you can draw on your short position, put it at market or wherever you're likely to get in, see where your stop loss is about to go and where your target's about to go, and it will tell you the risk reward profile. It will tell you how many pips that you have to risk or how many ticks that your stop loss is away. It will tell you in percentage what that move will be. So at a glance, this is a really phenomenal tool that's very, very handy, quite frankly, when building up your analysis for a position entry. So you just adjust this thing like so, and you can also adjust the center point as well. So you might find that actually, oh yeah, if I enter here, it's not quite a 1-to-1, so I need to enter here instead, which will make it more than a 1-to-1, and that's a really great way of doing that. That's the short position, and then obviously the long position is exactly the same in the other direction. Going down the tool list, we've now got the brushes and arrows and things like that, shapes that are useful to use in technical analysis. A brush is a bit of a weird name for this, but it's basically a pen. You just draw you can draw on the thing. If you're drawing indicators or you're just pointing or arrows or whatever you want to do with that, it's pretty flexible. The highlighter is basically the same but a bit thicker, and again you can adjust. If you go back to the crosshair here, you can adjust what color you like this to be, whether you like it to be blue or pink or purple. Usually if I'm using drawing tools like this, I like it to be colors that aren't the same color as anything else that I use as indicators or price. Does that make sense? So that I know that it's a drawing and it's not distracting, because charts can get really cluttered if you're not careful. Going down the list, arrow marker is just you draw it like this, right? If you want that kind of marker. Remember, these are just tools for your preference, for your aesthetics of how you like to mark up your charts. Arrow tool like this I use quite a lot when I'm kind of predicting where market's likely to go next, and I'm doing daily predictions and things like that. You just click and you draw the arrows. Play around with this, obviously. Arrow mark up, arrow mark down I like to use a lot, right? So if I'm doing things like this, or I'm going, right, we had one candle here that had one test of structure, and then we had one here and one here and one here, and you can count those up. It's quite nice. I don't use too many others other than the rectangle. So the rectangle I use all the time for marking out dynamic support and resistance zones, structure, major levels of support, major levels of resistance, things like that. And again, you can change the border color. You can have a less opaque border color. You can change the whatever. You can change all the colors of it and everything, right? So great. That's probably what I use most out of these tools. The rectangle and probably the arrow tool. That's probably it. That's what I use most. But you might like to use them all. So moving on, text tool, pretty self-explanatory. I like to use this. Simple. I'm a simple guy, and you just type text, right? Please subscribe to this channel if you are getting value from this and you would like me to create more tutorials just like this. There you go. And I'll wait here while you do that, by the way. So go and hit that like button. Thanks. And again, with the text, you can change the size of it. You can have it in bold. You can change the, you could create more lines. Whatever you want to do, you can customize that how you like. Other text tools which are quite nice are callouts. So that means if you click on a point, let's just say you want to mark up this candlestick here, you can do this, right? Check this, okay? Or major level of support, or rejection candle, or whatever you want to mark up, just to prompt you and give you a reminder of the story that you've painted across the chart so that you know your analysis. And if you're new to trading, I recommend that you really do take the time to do some detailed analysis like this. It really embeds in your mind your trade plan. And there's less subjectivity, and you become very objective as a trader if you can get really crystal clear about what you're looking for and why, and you have the accountability to mark that up on a chart and take a screenshot. It's really, really powerful. Other things, they're the only two I use. Again, price note, again, you just, you can put a price note. It just tells you the price there at that point in time, if that's useful to you. And then you can play around with these, but I don't really use too many of these. You know, signpost. You can use a signpost, which will tag that to the bottom, right? And it will put it in the some significance in that bottom axis there for you. Image, if you want to upload an image for whatever reason, and ideas, which we'll get into a little bit later. Idea. Okay. Next up is just social icons. I don't know why they're there. The ruler tool is pretty good. Just at a glance, you can quickly go from one place to the other, and you can see the percentage in growth in that measurement. You can see how many ticks or how many pips that has moved, the number of bars, the number of days, the volume, right? So it's a really useful tool. So I want to know how much did this market grow from April to now. I can just drag that thing on and go, oh wow, 5.8%, and it went over this many days, and this was the volume, and this was the price, etc. Really, really cool. It's also good for measuring out stop losses and things like that. You say, right, if I get in here and my stop's here, that's a 0.7%. How many pips, how many ticks. So it's a really good, useful tool. And the way that works is if you draw it on, you just click anywhere on the chart and it's gone again. So it's not going to stay on the chart. So it's a quick measurement on the fly tool to give you some information, to feedback some information momentarily, and then you can move on. The zoom tool is really good. Although you can do it like by scrolling your mouse and everything, this is if you really quickly want to zoom in, bang, straight there, right? Same with zoom out. You can zoom out and then you can just, use the zoom out tool to do the same. But if you want to zoom in, bang, hit the zoom out, it will just zoom back out to where you were. You want to go back to here, bang, right? Really, really good. That's a very useful tool because sometimes, you're moving and then you're zooming and you're stretching. And I've got into the bad habit of doing that myself, to be honest. So that zoom tool feature is something that I recommend getting into the habit of using. That brings us to the magnet tool, which is really handy because what this does, if you turn the magnet on, and all these have got tooltips, by the way, but if you turn the magnet on, what it will do is it will magnet towards the high or low of price. Okay, let me show you what I mean. If I was to bring on our retracement tool, which I was using earlier, you can see the crosshair is now clicking to the lows of the candle, right? So now all I have to do is go to the nearest candle, and I don't have to be pinpoint accurate. And when I click that, it will draw the tool from there. And the same goes for the high, right? Look, I can click, it will just click and magnetize to the high, which is a really nice feature because if you're worried about being accurate or zooming right in and your mouse isn't quite, accurate, you don't have to worry because you just turn that magnet tool on. Same with every tool that you use. If you use the line tool, it will just magnetize to the high and low, which is really, really nice. I think that's a great tool. Where it's really beneficial as well is if you're using the XABCD, you turn that magnet on and boom, you haven't got to worry about like hitting the wrong candle or measuring out accurately. You can it's just there, right? So it's much quicker. So that's the magnet. Stay in drawing mode is if you don't want to keep selecting the drawing. So let's just give you an example of this. If I just bring on this line tool, I can draw a line, right? Now when I click, nothing happens. So I have to go back to the line and I have to draw another line and then I have to draw another line, right? And so on. If you use the stay in drawing mode, you click the line. Now I can just draw multiple lines by click, 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 right? And then you turn it back off when you want to turn that off, and now when I click, there's no lines. So it just stays in the tool, whatever tool you select, it will stay with that tool until you select another tool. If I go to rectangle and I draw a rectangle here, and I draw a rectangle here, and I draw a rectangle, here, right? And then I select the line, and now I can draw a line, right? And then I select the arrow, and now I can select an arrow and then an arrow and so on, right? And then when you turn it off, it goes off. So really, really cool feature. Lock all drawings just locks all drawings, right? That's pretty self-explanatory. Now, if it gets a bit cluttered, you can hide all the drawings. So you can just turn them all off quickly, see, where was I? What was I looking at? And then you turn them back on and they're back. And then the removal tool, you can either remove the drawings, the indicators, which we haven't applied yet, I'll show you that in a moment, or just remove everything. So you remove everything. So speaking of indicators, we're going to look at that next. If we click our indicator tab here, what we can do is we can add if you want to add the relative strength index, RSI, you can then just click on the RSI and it's added that now to the chart. See that? Now you can minimize that or maximize it. Some people like to have half of the chart with the indicators and half without. I use RSI for certain overbought, oversold conditions. So I like it a little bit out the way so I can still focus on price. But you can see the RSI is here. The midpoint is this dotted line and we've got the upper and lower levels, and you can change all that just by clicking on it, double clicking on it, and then you've got all the visibility options, the style options. You can make it thicker. So for instance, in this one, the RSI is purple. We can make that black. We can actually make it a line. We can also click on the color and make it thicker. So we can make that line nice and thick. And we click off, you can see really, really prominent RSI down there. And you can also, what I like to do is do upper and lower limits, different colors as well. So the upper band, instead of being green, I want that to be an overbought condition. So I'm going to make that green. And in the lower, I'm going to have that as oversold. So I'm going to make that red. And again, I like to use it as an extreme filter. So instead of 70 and 30, which are the conventional overbought, oversold conditions, I want it at 80 and 20. And you know what? I'm actually going to remove off the middle point because I don't use it. And now we've got a nice clean RSI indicator down here of upper and lower bands ready to go. You can close off the indicators just by using the bin. You can move them around. If you've got multiple indicators, just use pan up, pan down if you've got more than one. You can collapse it and then bring it back when you want to, which is handy. Or you can maximize the pane, which for whatever reason you want to delve into the RSI, you can bring that up on the whole chart just like so. Then as you add more indicators, so let's just say that we wanted to add the MACD, the moving average convergence divergence indicator. We can add that in and it will just add it underneath. Again, you can adjust it how you like it. You can have all these sit nicely down here. MACD, I just use the default settings, so I'm going to leave that as it is. But as you can see, pretty customizable. You can have all your indicators down there that you need. You can have volume, you can have MACD, you can have ATR, you can have RSI, whatever you want down there, and you can collapse or expand them as you like. Now, at this part of the video, I want you to set up your workspace. And I want you to share with us once you've done that. So maybe pause this video, save it to your favorites or your playlists, or save to watch later, and go and set up your workspace. Set up your Tradingview, link either the paper trading account or link your broker account to Tradingview, set up your workspace, customize your charts, maybe add a little watch list together, play around with some of the tools, maybe add some indicators, get some customization colors on the date and the time, play around with price action customization, and just familiarize yourself with the platform at this point, because now we're going to delve into some more of the advanced features. So make sure you're ready to take notes for that, and we'll get straight back into it. All right, so before we go into actually trading strategies and using the charts to place trades, one of the things that's really useful with Tradingview is the ability to backtest. So assuming you've got a strategy that you want to go and trade in the market, the great thing about this platform is you can test it really, really efficiently and effectively. So there's something called bar replay. Okay, so I'm going to click on this bar replay thing, and this will allow you to select a moment back in history where you can wipe out the rest of the candles that have been printed since that day, so that you can then simulate a real live trading session and see how the market plays out. Now, the bar replay feature is only available if you're not on the free trial. Okay, so I'm going to show you my own personal account, which don't look too dissimilar to this now. Okay, so let's click on bar replay and you'll see that we can adjust, we can select where we want the bar replay to trigger. And if we select this area here, what it's going to do is wipe out all the future candles from that point. And then there's a couple of options down here to play at different speeds. You can see how the bars play out in real time, or you can speed it up a little bit, or you can skip a little bit. But here's the brilliant thing about this. Let's just say that we've got a strategy where I'll make up some rules. Okay, so every time we're on the hourly time frame, which you can see up here, and every time the RSI goes above 80, which is my overbought condition, we're going to wait for that bar to close, and then we're going to set an order to sell, and then we're going to place our stop loss above the high of that candle, to 3 pips above the high, and then we're going to take a 1-to-1 trade. Okay, so what we can do now is we can just play this out. So we can see, right, okay, it's going to play out, right, and that's quite fast. You can see how that played out. But let's just go back a second. All right, so let's go back. What we can do now is we can basically go bar by bar. See this? So you can see what happened in real time. So in this case, what we're looking for are those set of rules that I just explained. All right, so let's just go back, and we're going to go tick, 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 right? We're looking for the RSI to go above 80 in an overbought condition. Okay, so we're going to go tick, 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 keep going, right? Now, we've gone overbought here, right? So we're well overbought here. So what we're going to do is we're going to get in the next bar, right? So if you imagine, we're only doing like testing at the moment, so it's not real trades. So we would have sold next bar market. We would have put our stop loss 3 pips above that high, which was 29.49, so 29.52. Okay, 53 for the sake of that, and then we'll get a 1-to-1 trade or a 2-to-1 trade or something like that. You could do a 1.5-to-1 trade, which is nice, right? So 1.5-to-1, and then you just see how it played out, and you just keep ticking away, and then boom, right, hit the target, and we're out of the trade. So then you can note that one down, you can jot that down, and it's just a nice way to see how your testing plays out, right? And you can select anywhere along. You can just keep doing that over and over again until you've really got some confidence in understanding how the market moved around that particular play. You can also select by bar or date, or you can even do random. So you can pick a random bar and it will take you somewhere random back in time. In this case, it's the 6th of May 2005. For whatever reason, it's picked that, and then you just go from there. So you can really train your eye for your strategy. Really, really great feature. And you can even simulate your trading, okay? So you can buy and then watch how that plays out, and then you can basically simulate to see how much you would have earned, how much you would have lost. So you can do real live, like real-time backtesting that feels like real trading. And that really gets your emotions neutralized, and it also gives you a realistic expectation of how that's going to feel when you're trading live. That is a phenomenal feature. Until this platform, no one's really quite pulled it off to that degree where it's that that realistic and that easy to use and user friendly. So I love that feature. So you buy, you sell, you can flatten the positions, right, and then it will print that data all over your charts, so you've got that information there across your backtest. Great feature. To exit that, you just click the cross, and then away we go. All right, whilst I'm on the premium account now, I can show you the split screen. So one of the split screens that I like to have when I'm looking at my markets is this one, which basically allows you to set 3 different time zones for the same market. So if you guys are doing top-down analysis, what I like to do is have the daily time frame at the top, and then I like to have the 4-hour time frame on the bottom left, and then the hourly and the 15 alternating on the bottom right. And what that allows me to do is get a macro view up the top to form a bias, and then I don't have to flick between different time frames and things like that. I can just visually see what I'm looking at on the trading time frame and then the lower time frame for entries. And the great thing about this is if you look down the bottom here, you can sync different things in the layout. So you can sync the symbol, meaning that all 3 charts will be the same symbol, which is what I use. The interval obviously will be all the same time zones, which you don't, time frames, which you don't want really. Well, I don't want that in this case. The crosshair is a really good feature. Okay, so the global crosshair, you can see that when I move the crosshair on the daily, you're going to see where that is in respect to the 4-hour time frame and the hourly time frame. And the same going, if I'm on the 4-hour, you can see where that is on the hourly, and if I go to the hourly, you're going to see where that is on the daily and the 4-hour. I love that feature because especially if you're looking at entry techniques and You know, you just need to see major structure and minor structure, and maybe you're using it for that, just to make sure we didn't break and close above certain highs. That is a really, really nice feature as well. Now the time is, if you sync the time, it means that when you refresh the charts, they will all go to the same moment in time. I recommend that you put that on, otherwise you'll find yourself, sometimes you'll be scouring the chart to try and find where price is. Sometimes it skews off, so I'd keep that one on. And you can also sync the date range as well, right? So really, really nice feature. Great little layout there, but you can also have multiple options like this. You know, you can have all different options. Pretty self-explanatory because the diagrams here show you the different views that you can have. With the professional, which, you know, you can get a professional account, you can have 16 charts per tab. In my opinion, that is just way overkill. You know, I'll never use that feature because I just don't want 16 charts on one tab. Now, the way you can get round having 16 charts on your computer, say you've got split screens or multiple screens, you can just have Tradingview open, multiple tabs, signed into your Tradingview account, and then have 4 on one, 4 on another, 4 on another, and that'll also work nice. If you're struggling to pick a broker, I highly recommend that a video that I did on analyzing 6 different brokers. I opened 6 accounts, I downloaded 6 different platforms, and I put them to the test. And I did a documentary on that on my YouTube channel, where you can see the video right here. And I gave you a free analysis tool so that you can be well informed and well equipped to do your own research to make a really true informed decision about which broker is best for you. Go and check out this video and let me know what you think of that. And I'm sure that will help you pick the broker that's right for you. Okay, I think it's time to go into the order placement. Now, depending on your broker, what I'm about to show you might look slightly different, but they should all be pretty much the same, and the language or terminology might be slightly variant, but it should all be pretty easy to understand. For the example here, I'm going to be using a paper trading account because I think everyone here will be using a paper trading account. At least you might as well open a paper trading account anyway, regardless of integrating your broker to the platform, because if you want to test something or try something out, you can just use the paper trading account, right? So right now we've got a paper trading account here, which is again the 100,000. Mine's just over 100,000 because I've done some demo trading on this for examples, but that's the account that we're going to be using. And there's a couple of things that you can do, right? So up in the top left, you've got the buy and sell, okay? Buy and sell. So you can buy the market. Now, if you're not familiar with orders and order types, I would go and watch my Trading for Dummies video. I talk about order types in detail, and that's time stamped in that video. So you can go and check that out, and there'll be specific explanations of what each order means. This video is not about that. This is about how to use TradingView. But you can sell at market, buy at market, right? That's a very simple way to go, I want to get in now. I want to buy this at this price. I want to sell this at this price. And if you just buy, you know, it's going to give you the option to buy, and then you just click buy, right? So very, very simple. So that's a quick way if you're buying and selling at market. The other way is to right click, okay, and hit trade. And you want to create a new order or trading settings. So trading settings is going to take you into you know, what to display up here. So buy and sell buttons. You can have instant order placement there. You can have play sounds for execution. So all of this stuff is really down to the customization. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to place an order at market. But let's just say, before I place a trade, let's just say that we want the market to go a little bit higher, and we don't want to sit here watching our chart. What we can do is we can use this really, really cool feature called alerts. And when you add an alert, you can put notes on here. So let's just say that you go, right, I only want to sell this if we push up to 131.08. Okay. And if we push up to 131.08, I want to then still come back and analyze the market. I don't want to actually get into the trade at that point. I want to just know when we cross that threshold. So what you can do is add an alert. This is a really cool feature because what this does, it allows you to put notes, right? So this is, you could say, get ready for sale, looking for pin bar. You know, you can put some notes here, and you could say, right, it's crossing 131.07. This is a signal to check charts for confirmation of short, right? So you can basically put some notes, and the great thing about this is you can, every time it crosses that, it will trigger. You can put some various settings here, so if it's crossing, if it's coming up, if it's part less than, greater than, so all of these different logics you can use. And the notifications, you can have an email sent, you can play the notification in the app version of TradingView, you can raise a sound on here on your laptop or your PC, you can play a sound, you can choose which sound it is. I always have the hand bell because that's what my trigger is now. And you can do it once or every 5 seconds, and you can even send a plain text message, so you can text your phone. The beauty of this is now you don't have to be glued to your charts. You can just set an alert, and not an order, but an alert to say when it triggers that, let me know so I can come back to the charts and take a look. You just hit create, and when you hover over that, you can see get ready for sale, right? And the other thing that you can do with this is you can put this onto like lines, like horizontal lines. So if you've got a horizontal line as part of your analysis, you can actually add an alert on that horizontal line as well, which is pretty cool. Okay, so the other way to do that is, let's just say instead of setting an alert line, we're just ready to sell at that point, right? We're ready to sell at that point. We don't want to alert. We just want to know that when the market tests that level, we just want to sell. Okay, so what I would do is I'd hit trade, and I would create a new order, and instead of an at market order, it will still be a sell because we want to sell, but instead of at market, this will be a limit order, which means you want to sell the market at a price higher than we're currently trading, and it's an instruction to your broker to get you in at whatever price you select. So in this case, we're going to say 31.18. Okay, so 31.18, and 2 mini lots, and for the sake of this, we'll just hit sell. Okay, now that order is now there, ready to be triggered into. Okay, now make sure that you get a stop loss in, and you're going to have to you're going to have to understand what you're doing with your strategy, and if you don't, I highly recommend you go and watch Trading for Beginners. But the way that you set your stop loss is like this. So you can set a stop loss here. Let's just say that we want our stop loss at 32.09. Okay, so 32.09, and you modify the order. Now you've got a stop loss in place. Okay, now you can just link one target to that. So your take profit order, you just do it the same way. Hit the tick. Let's just say you want to take profit down at 29.60. Okay, so 29.60. Now we've got our stop loss and we've got our order, and you can see that's a correlated. That's all correlated, that order. So the stop loss is linked to that sell limit, and the profit targets there as well. And none of that will trigger until the initial sell limit is triggered. Once that's triggered, then you'll be, your stop loss and your take profit will become active. Now, one of the questions I get a lot is, how do you take multiple targets? Well, it's simply the same way. Okay, so what you do is, instead of linking the take profit to that, what you would do is you just set a new order. And it will still, because it's the same trading account, it will still treat it as one order. So let's just say that we want to get triggered into here, and we want to take half our profit off here. Well, what you do is you create a new order, and as I say, we're going to get the order in at a 1.3 flat, say 1.3 flat, and at that point, we want to take half of our profit. Well, you simply, instead of 2 mini lots, you take 1 mini lot. Right, and you can move these as well, guys. Once it's on the chart, you can actually move these orders. Whoops, ignore all of that. So let's just say I want to split my position, and I want to take off half of my position right here at 129.96. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new order. Okay. And this is obviously going to be a buy limit, because I'll be buying my position back, and it's a limit order because it's below where market's currently trading. Okay, but instead of a 2 mini lot order, I'm going to put 1 mini lot order, which means that it will take off half of my position. Okay, and what will happen is my stop loss will get reduced to half automatically as well. And then you can just take another target right here, right? So if we trade here, we can say create new order, and we do the other mini lot, right? 1 mini lot, and then we've got up. But so as long as it equals the total position of what you put in the first place, that will treat it as one order. Now, be wary of this, because as I showed you guys, when we did one target, all of these were linked together. You see the link there? They were all linked. All three were linked. That means that this order and this order wouldn't become effective until you was in the initial order. Well, when you do it this way, if price reverses right now, it will put us in a buy limit order. It makes sense? So you will be in that buy limit order. That will be another order that you're now in. So you want to be careful doing it this way. What I suggest is you set your entry order and you protect it with your stop, and then when you get filled, then you can set the multiple orders. That makes sense? So and it's not limited to 2. You could have 3 orders and 4 or 5 target orders, but as long as it equals the total position that you put in, then you're good to go. Now, another feature I want to discuss in the trading terminal is the dome. And the dome allows you to just read the tape. Some traders just like to monitor price action, and there's a buy market and sell market button down here of your position size, where you can get a gauge for volume and how the market's moving and how price is behaving. And some traders like to just trade off of that to get a real feel for what the market's doing. I highly recommend you don't do that. That is for advanced trading. It can become very disorienting if you're new to trading and you're looking at multiple pairs and then you start trying to trade off of the dome. It is not something I recommend, but that feature's there. One other feature in the trading terminal that I need to tell you about is this time in force. If you're setting limit orders or stop orders, not market orders, but limit or stop, those are orders that could be filled in the future. So this good till GTD stands for good till date, right? Or good till day. And then it's got a calendar day and a time, which means when you set that limit order, it will be good until that time, and then it will cancel the order off if it isn't filled by that particular time. I don't use that feature. Other terminals might have good till cancelled. Other features might have one cancels other, which is an OCO, which means that if one gets hit, it will cancel off the other orders, which might be handy if you're placing manual orders where you get stopped out. You don't want then the trade to then go and trigger your target order. You want that target order to come off, you know, when the other orders come off. So if you don't have a linked order, like I showed you before, and you have multiple targets, let's just say your first order gets stopped out and you're away from the charts, and then it comes down, triggers your next order, and then you're in the wrong position, in the wrong direction. A one cancels other order will cancel off other orders that you've got on at that time. So that's handy. But again, please check with your broker that is going to work with the integration that you choose, because that does vary from broker to broker. Just to make it extra confusing, some of the time in force, good till day, some of it means it stays in force until that time when it's open. Some mean it's going to stay as a limit until that date and then close if it isn't filled. So just make sure that you check with your broker what that terminology means and the rules around that for that particular broker. One more thing I want to mention in the trading terminal is some of the other features in the drop downs. So you've got a calculator here to plus or minus. If you want to quickly adjust your position size, you can, or you can just type it in. The other thing is this risk. So you can calculate your risk by dollar amount or your currency, a percentage balance or a percentage risk, and each of these have got tooltips next to them. So choosing the percentage risk will require you to set the stop loss price for further quantity calculation. So it will tell you what that means. But also there used to be a stop loss, a trailing stop loss feature here, which they seem to have removed, where you can trail stops. If you want a video dedicated to trailing stops, because I get asked this all the time, please type in the comments now, trailing stops, And if we get enough comments on that, I'll do a dedicated video on a whole trailing stop strategy and how to do it. Whilst we're on the subject of trading strategies and placing trades, one of the things I want to mention here is if you click on indicators, metrics and strategies, the strategies have a series of strategies here, which you're probably wondering, well, what are they? Well, when you click on one of these, what it's going to do is it's going to bring up a ton of rules and performances and performance summaries and the properties of a particular strategy, and it's going to show you the performance of how that particular strategy performed over time. And what you can do then is you can choose to trade that strategy. Now, in my opinion, this is no better than just a signal service, because you don't really understand too much about the strategy. You've just picked someone's strategy who's what's been developed for this platform, and you're following it blind. To become a profitable trader, it is my 100% true belief that you have to develop a strategy, test it, put in some blood, sweat and tears, and be connected to the black and white data to allow you to have the psychological strength to trade it confidently going forward. If you're just buying and selling when someone tells you to, it's not going to serve you well, it's not going to end well, you're going to jeopardize that system in one way or another. So my advice is to steer clear of the strategy testers. If you want to be a professional trader, it's time to start being a system developer. On that note, you can then, if you know Pine script, you can then create your own strategies in here, and then you can test those strategies once you load them in, and then you can even upload them to Tradingview for some other gullible trader to go and follow your strategy blind. But you're not going to be the one following. So that feature's there if you want it. This is much more advanced, and if you're watching this video, you probably aren't interested in what I've just said until now. You're probably searching YouTube for this particular topic. If you do want to learn more about this, let me know and I'll do a video on all these advanced Pine script and strategy development tutorials. Okay, so now I want to talk about some of the other features that you're going to find really useful about this platform. The first one is screenshot. So when you're taking trades and you're journaling trades, and by the way, if you want a backtesting spreadsheet template, you can find the link to that in the description of this video and I'll give you that. But when you download that, you'll see that I've got a column in there that is for images. And the reason we want images of our trade setups is so that we can look at them in retrospect and keep a log of what the situation was. And Tradingview makes it very, very easy for us to screenshot our trades. You literally just hit this camera button here. It will take a snapshot and you can download the image, copy the image, copy a link which you can add into the spreadsheet, and you can even tweet the image to x.com. I personally like to save the link into my backtesting journal or my trading journal so that I've got a record log of that to analyze when I come to my optimization of my strategies. That's a really useful feature. The other thing, if you want to take it a step further and have some accountability, is publishing ideas. So Tradingview has a complete social element to it. Some of it is a bit dangerous because that whole forum side I don't recommend you get involved with. There's too many traders who think they've got all the ideas, and then you get shiny object, you get FOMO, and everyone's got an opinion in there, and none of them are professional traders, because every professional trader will tell you they don't care what other traders are looking at. There's no wrong and right. You know, so all you find in there, and that's this icon here, if I open it, it is just a forum of Pip Daddy, I'm wrong, you're right, and it is just a very toxic place to be, or at least it can be. I'm not saying all the members in there are, I'm just saying it's a very dangerous place to be, particularly if you're new and you're looking for some direction. You can start getting into some real rabbit holes in there. So I'd close that away. Don't use that feature. But if you do want some accountability and you want to publish some ideas, what we can do is we can do our analysis, right? So we can put some arrows and some drawings and we say, right, I think we're going to test this level here. And, you know, I think, let's just say we're going to, you know, look at stop loss up here, and we're going to put a short position in, and, you know, this is what we think, and the short position is going to go here. And then we can put some notes and say, previous structure looking strong, right? What you can do is once you've done your analysis, you can then publish an idea And you can record a video idea and publish it that way. You can speak your mind, or you can just literally publish an idea whereby you type just like any social media platform, you'll put a title and a heading of what the idea is. So short idea on the pound dollar, right? And then you put as many details as possible in here so that you know, your audience, or you, if you're just doing it for you, knows what the trade is. And once you've done that, you hit continue. So let's just put some things in here. Hit continue, and then it's either private for your own use only, public, which all of the forum on Tradingview can look at and view your analysis, and then it's either a tutorial or just analysis, and then it's long or short, and then you can choose a couple of categories that's relevant to that so it can be found on the search bar, and then you hit publish. And it says, I swear to abide by the house rules. If not, I won't be mad if my idea is hidden. And things, what Tradingview don't like is you posting external links, or telling people to buy the market, or telling people to do various investment decisions, or posting YouTube links, or trying to get them off the platform to look at something else. They will give you strikes every time you do that, and then you may lose your membership. So don't come running to me if you break those rules. So that's a way of accountably holding yourself accountable to publishing ideas to the world. If you want to progress as a trader and force yourself to get better and be right more, then I do recommend doing this. It's actually a very powerful way to do that. Once you've created some ideas, you can find all of your ideas down here. Okay, so they're all logged down here, and you can track your ideas. All of your alerts will be here that you've put on the charts, so they're all active or inactive. These are your direct chats, so you can message people, people can message you. I tend to not look at that. But down the bottom here, we've got some cool features. So this is a calendar. So if you're familiar with Forex Factory Calendar, it will show you when the news announcements are, what the numbers are, what the actual and forecast and the prior are. It's all on this one platform, which saves you going over to Forex Factory Calendar, because you can find it all here. And if you drop down, it tells you all about it. You know, why it's important, why you should take it into consideration, what the expected forecasted number is, etc. And it will have a nice little symbol here for the country, and also that will show on the chart as well. Look at this. If you've got news events selected on your chart, down here you can see, just click on that, FOMC, that's an important one, which we've got later today. So really, really good feature. I love how convenient this whole platform is. I really do. Another thing with a calendar is you've got economic, but you can also do earnings. You can also do revenue. If you're into stocks and you're looking at value investing, and you're looking at your watch list for PayPal and Amazon and the S&P 500 or Nvidia, right? You can look at all of that information here at a glance. You can see the dividend payouts and all of the financials for the particular watch list that you've created. That's really, really great. You can then take that a step further with this button, which is the stock screeners. So if you open up the stock screeners, you've got all of the screeners here, which will show you market cap, however you've configured your stock screener, because these are all adjustable. You can just move these around, by the way, and add to them. But whatever you've got set here will show up at a click of a button, and you can then filter that through. You can show by dividend yield, EPS, price, net margin, whatever it is that you want to do. You've also got these buttons that will go between performance, extended hours, and valuation. Again, I'm not going to teach you how to do this. If you want a video on investing and stock investing and value investing and how to read stock screeners, type stock screeners into the comments, and if we get enough comments, I'll do a full-blown tutorial masterclass on just that. You can also access stock screeners from down here. So let's just go to a particular stock. Let's just say that we go to Apple on the watch list. We've got the technical chart there, and then what we can do is hit stock screener, and we can have Apple down here as well, and we can see all of the financials for Apple in the stock screeners. If you're an advanced investor and you're speculating in the stock market, you can actually look at your quantitative analysis, qualitative analysis, and then you can use the chart for optimal entries. And you've got all that on one screen at a glance, which is really, really nice. Okay, we're pretty much wrapping up this Tradingview tutorial here. I think I've covered most things. If I've missed anything or you want to learn anything more, let me know in the comments. But one more thing I want to share with you guys is on the home page, you'll see that under the community tab, there is the Leap. Now the Leap is TradingView's competition. There's a $45,000 prize pool, and you can have your chance at winning some of that money by taking part in a challenge. Now, this can be taken two ways. You could really see this as some healthy competition to level up your game as a trader. You might see it as a bit of fun, but what I wouldn't see it as is a way to chase money. Because if you approach it just for the money, you're really not approaching it as a trader, because we all know that a lot of these challenges, you have to get a certain amount of return in a certain amount of time to beat the other players, and that's really not what trading is about. Trading is not about making a certain amount of money in a certain time. No professional trader will ever tell you that that's how it works, because it doesn't. So as long as you're approaching it for a bit of accountability, or maybe a bit of a sense check on yourself, so to make sure you stick to certain rules, or maybe just a bit of fun, but definitely don't do it because you're doing it for the money and you're going to trade, and you could potentially lose money doing that, particularly if you get addicted to these kind of challenges. There's loads of these around at the moment, and a lot of them are incentivizing that you blow your money because you have to make a certain amount of profit in a certain amount of time. I don't agree with that. That's not what trading is, so beware of that. And then finally, I just want to touch on the downloads. You can actually get a mobile app and a desktop app. I don't recommend that you trade from the mobile app, but the desktop app can be really, really helpful, because that means that the software is on your Mac, on your PC. It's available for Mac and PC, by the way, and Linux, and it is a really solid app. This company have done a really slick job of giving you a great user interface, and it's all the features that I've just been over, but on a solid, you don't have to, it's not web based, so you're not running it on Chrome or Safari or Edge. You're just running it through the software that's downloaded onto your Mac, and it is really, really nice. The other benefits of the app are you've got the multi-monitor support. Okay, so you can use multiple monitors and actually put different charts in different monitors, because I know there's going to be some of you guys asking about that. And you can also do all the syncing between all of those monitors like I showed you in the multiple chart option. So check out the app, but first of all, just give it a go on the web platform. And what I'll say at this point is, hopefully you've got the workbook. You've been checking off parts through the workbook as you've been going through this video, but if you haven't, watch through again, make sure that you fill the workbook out, complete the workbook, and by the end of that you'll be really well informed on how to confidently get started with what I think is the most versatile trading platform in today's age. At the time of this recording, I think it's incredible, and I'll be using this for many, many years to come. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. If you have, please give it a like. Please let me know what you thought. Please let me know if I missed anything or you'd like to deep dive on anything else, and give it a like and subscribe to the channel, because most people that watch these videos, something like 75%, are not subscribed to this channel, and I'm really trying to get to 1 million subs, and if we get to 1 million subs, I'm going to be doing a huge giveaway, so make sure you do that. Thanks for watching, and remember, if you want to join me for my 30-day trader challenge, you can find the links to that in the description, where you're going to spend 30 days with me and you'll be confident in placing your first trade after 30 days. And until next time, take care, and I'll see you then.